there, my name is Christy Lenz, and I am your son or daughter's English 9 teacher for this school year. I just wanted to say thank you very much, first of all, for watching this video and taking interest in your son or daughter's education. It's really important that we're all working together to help them have the most successful first year of high school. And so I look forward to spending the next couple of minutes with you just explaining how the class works. So in English 9, we do a combination of reading, writing, and speaking, just basic communication skills. Every day we're doing one of those, if not a combination of several things. In first semester, we are starting with some short stories. We're talking about coming of age. We're talking about literary elements, how they're used in a story to help convey a theme. And that is all going to work toward our first assessment, which I'll come to in just a second. After we finish our short story unit, in the middle of first semester, basically from September through October, we'll be reading The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros. And then we finish first semester by reading To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. And then second semester, we will be doing a lit circle where students get some choice in the books that they read. And then we all read The Other Wes Moore. And then we do a little bit of research, writing and researching in second semester in the spring too. So our class is divided into two sections of grading. So I think of things as a formative and as a summative. And let me first start with the formative category. A formative is homework, a reading quiz, a rough draft check. It's basically practice. And so the formatives are 20% of the semester grade. Now those all lead toward a summative assessment. Now the summatives cover 80% of our semester grade, and we have 5 first semester. We start the year with a literary elements test. We're already working on that right now. It's recognizing literary devices and how they're being used in a text, and that will be a test that they take. Then we're going to get into The House on Mango Street and do a theme presentation. That will be either with a small group, or if a student prefers to work alone, they can. And then we get into rounding out first semester To Kill a Mockingbird. Before we do To Kill a Mockingbird, and as we finish The House on Mango Street, we're going to be kind of cleaning up a narrative. They'll start that probably mid-September, and then we'll kind of work on fine-tuning that, rough draft checks, adding some things. That will be due maybe mid or early October, I think. And then the end of the first semester, when we're finishing up with To Kill a Mockingbird, we have a test over To Kill a Mockingbird on the literary elements of a novel. And then we also write a character analysis based on a character and a theme in the story. So in class, those 5 big assessments are ones that are not a surprise. The deadlines will be posted well in advance. I like to break assignments into steps. And so we'll do brainstorming. I'll check some things. We will spend multiple class periods so that there's no surprise when things are due, and it's also not going to be left to students to figure it out on their own. I'm there to help and guide them throughout the process. I don't have a late work policy in terms of anything that's a formative. In other words, if I assign it and it's late, there's no penalty on the grade. I do put a 0 in the grade book until I get that assignment, which I do require kids to come in for SSRT if they owe me some work. But I do have a penalty for any of those big assessments if they're late, those summatives. And primarily because we will have worked on those for possibly weeks at a time and the deadlines are posted. So that is a 5% deduction. It amounts to 5 points. It's not a grade breaker. It's not going to take away an A from a student who has an A. But at the same time, I think that there needs to be a consequence for something that's not turned in when it's due. And speaking of that, I really have 3 basic rules for my classroom and the expectations for this classroom. Number 1 is to come to class prepared by doing all of your work, making sure they have read the assignments. If they have any paperwork to complete, they bring that with them. I ask the kids to be respectful and responsible. With responsible, I want them to meet deadlines. I want them to participate and be sort of in charge of their own education by the time they come to high school, and be able to be organized. We always start class and finish class by talking about what the homework is, and I'll show you that on my Canvas page in just a second. Finally, my last rule is just to be respectful, and I tell them just be kind. It's not that hard. Listen to others, make sure everybody feels safe in the room, and not anybody, we don't have to have the same opinions, but we do need to be respectful of other people. My Canvas page is pretty straightforward, and if you click on it, you can see that where you first wind up is just kind of a landing page for what students can expect, and it tells them to go to the module. So that's what I will click on first. I organize Canvas by class dates. So most recent date on top. If a student is absent, they miss class, the number one thing to do is to check the Canvas page. So I'm going to look at last Thursday, August 25th. So on the Canvas page, this looks the same every single time. The left side tells them what we did in class. The middle tells them what was due, if anything. And then on the right, if there were handouts, they can open those links. I tell the kids, unless you've lost something, don't print those out at home. I have copies here at school, but it is kind of nice to be able to open, especially if we write a new story, you can at least look at it online. Finally, the last thing on the Canvas page, it always tells them what the homework is. If you notice on the agenda, I always start class by asking them, take out your pathways, that's their planner, and then I go through the homework with them at the start of class, and then we wrap up with it at the end of class too. And I think that helps them be organized and keep track of, okay, what's coming up, what's due next class. I think I've covered everything. If there's anything that I've missed, if you want to contact me, the best way to contact me is through email, just klentz at ccs.k12.in.us. If that was too quick, if you go to the school's webpage and search, my name is Christy. It's actually Kristen on there with a K, but klentz is the first part of it besides the school web address at the end. I do check email frequently during the day, not so much in the evening, especially after a certain time. I put it away. And then I have prep mornings both days, blue and gold. If there is something you can expect, if you email me, you can expect a response within 24 hours. If for some reason I have not responded back to you, please send it again. I may have accidentally just let it get pushed down on the page a little bit, but your contact with you is very important to me, and I don't want to be dismissive about it. I just want to acknowledge that I may have overlooked something, so feel free to send something again. Thanks again for watching this. I appreciate how much effort you're putting into tonight or whenever you're watching these videos. Just meeting your son or daughter's teacher. I know it's rough when, especially it's your oldest, going to high school for the first time. I'm here to make that transition as easy as I can. I know they're still kids, they're still learning, but I do think they've got great things ahead of them. And this is an exciting year. It's a good class. It feels normal for the first time in a couple of years, which as a teacher with, I would say old, but with some seasoning, uh, I don't really ever want to underestimate the power of normal ever again. So thanks again for watching. Take care.